Okay. Welcome, everybody. This is The Cure with Sir Charles, and every week we come to you to talk to you about something that we hope you can walk away with that you didn't have before you got here. So we want to empower you, inspire you, and encourage you to get as much as you can, not just from me, but from the conversation and from all of our guests that are here. So today we're talking about staying grounded. I think staying grounded is so important because in the midst of our daily lives, there's always something going on. And, sometimes when you find that you're able to stay grounded, it's easy to deal with the challenges of life. Good ones, extreme ones, definitely bad ones. And when the world is going crazy all around us, I think it's just essential, seriously essential, to stay grounded. And I did a video on that, and I did one today, but I'm gonna look for the shorter one because I want to share what initially inspired me to create this topic, and what I came up with. And for those of you that don't know, excuse me, that may look at the replay, every week I write an article on LinkedIn. And this week, the article was called Staying Grounded. So on Thursday, we like to talk about the article. So this is our opportunity to share with you in greater detail and from different perspectives what that topic's title means. So I'm going to show this video, and then we're going to talk about how staying grounded affects us, or what we interpret it to mean. So let me find the clip, and then I'm going to share that with you. Okay. Heads up. Drop-ins won't show in recordings or audio archives. Yes, but we're working on it. Okay. I think they're trying to tell me that you can see it, but it won't show up in the recording, which is fine. People, just want to talk to you for a moment about the value of being quiet. Many times we go and come, we're checking emails, we're getting ideas, we're on conference calls, we're on webinars, we're doing all of these things, we're phone calls, conference calls, you name it, we're in it. And then you have to have time for your job. If you're not a business owner solely, you have to do your job as well as your business. All of these things. You have to have time for yourself. Honestly, yeah, you're with you all the time, but when do you have quality time just for you, where you're not doing something that's expected of you, something required from you, but you can just appreciate being still? I know some people don't want to just be still. You got to make it happen. You got to do it. I get it. I'm of the same mindset or a similar mindset, but the truth of the matter is, there's value in being still. There is value in being quiet. And if you're not used to it, try it. I promise you, you will receive a certain calm about yourself. But you will also receive answers, certainly you'll receive understanding to things that did not make sense to you. You will receive ideas that you would like to capitalize on or create. You will receive you won't get when you're in those busy periods. Take advantage of this idea I'm sharing with you. And it's nothing unique, and it's nothing new, and it's not my idea. It's something I'm sharing with you that can be a benefit to you. My idea. Learn the benefit of being still. Learn the benefit of being quiet. Just for you and for your sake, your purposes. Get selfish. Take a half hour. Take an hour. Be still. And there's certain websites. I'm not going to promote anyone. But there are websites that help you meditate. There's certain websites. I'm not going to promote anyone. Do a search online. Free meditative website or free meditation, and you'll see what you can do. There's a couple. Okay, I will tell you one. One is called CALM.com. I will tell you one. One is called, and I'm not trying to teach you how to be a yoga or yogi or whatever the phrase is. I'm just telling you that. Trying to be a yoga or yogi or whatever the phrase is. I'm just telling you that. Whether you're praying, whether you're meditating, or you're literally just being still, there's so much value in it. And you're literally just being still for your life. It starts with you. Value in it. I promise. That's all you need. For your life, it starts with you. Right mindset. That's all you need. So, has anyone heard of Calm.com? You have?
No, I have not.
Yeah, it's free. Doesn't cost you anything. And the joy of it, you can set it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever time frame. And you can have images, or I forgot the other option. There's different ways of utilizing it. But I think you'll appreciate it. I know it's just nice, you know, how technology is. Some people have created things using technology to benefit us, to soothe us. You know, it's great. We got the busy stuff, you know, Facebook and all that, and all these different things. But Calm.com, that's kind of cool. You know, I don't know if, let me see. I wonder if I could. Let me try something real quick, y'all. I've never tried this before. I'm gonna see if I can use this website and bring it up so you can see it. I am trying something different here. Okay, click to view. Okay, let's see. Oh, it's taking me away from the blab. I don't think so. All right. Anyway, it was worth a try. Anyway, so again, today we're talking about staying grounded. So I want to ask you, hey Sharon, I'm glad you joined in. Feel free to come on in and take a seat if you like, and when you're ready, we'd love to get your perspective. Sharon has got this analytical perspective, which is great because it adds a different, I guess a different feeling and a different thought pattern than I have many times. So it's always good to get different views. But I'm gonna start with Dan. What does staying grounded mean to you? What does that mean to you?
Well, to be honest with you, I have a problem with that.
Okay.
Because I'm not the person that is grounded. I'm always on the go. I don't know when to stop. I always have something going on, and I just keep going and going and going and going. And like I shared with you a couple of minutes ago, I just had a physical today. And one of the things that my doctor pointed out to me is that, you know, you're so stressed out. You need to just relax.
Wow.
Take some time for you. And I have a, you know, I know you guys see me on vacation on Facebook. You see me relaxing on the beach. You see me having drinks with friends. But what you don't see in the background is I'm on my laptop. I'm on the phone. I'm getting orders. I'm filling orders. I'm conducting business. So it's very hard for me to stay grounded, which was one of the reasons why I wanted to be on this call, is because I have a really hard problem with that. And it's because I'm a go-getter. You know, I got to get to the next thing. I can't miss nothing, you know, and that's one of my problems. So I'm glad to be on this call, but I am really not one to speak on being grounded, because I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not whatsoever. I am just all over the place when it comes to my business and things that I want to do.
That's so funny, because my next question was going to be to you, how do you keep yourself grounded? So I'm gonna go with you, David. Can you tell me what staying grounded means to you?
Well, I'm glad that you asked me. And as a matter of fact, just listening to the sister speak, in some respects, I would say that she is grounded and rooted. And I'm going to tell you why, because it depends on how you define it. Because to define being grounded means that you're stable, that you're unmovable.
Yes.
That's what it actually means to be grounded. That people can't knock you off they don't knock you off your throne. You don't get knocked out of your vision. You don't get swayed off of your purpose. and those types of things. So the fact that you're running a business and running a very successful business, and you have orders and you're doing all of these things, even though your life might be hectic, you're still grounded, because because ungrounded people to me are unstable people. They're people that are in one thing, out of this, in that, out, they're double-minded. They don't really have a focus on anything. So it doesn't mean necessarily that you are just because you sometimes are frustrated and have a lot going on, that it means that you're not grounded. The fact that you are able to still function and be successful in the midst of all that you've got going on is evidence that you're grounded.
Wow, that's good. That's strong right there. That is a good perspective, and I can see that clearly. So my next question will be to you, David. How do you personally stay grounded?
Well, one of the things that I do is I continue to keep focusing on my purpose, on vision, recognizing what my gifts are, and what my personality is, what my and remain focused on that. I found out that, and of course I spend a lot of time on foundational stuff. I wrote that little note down here. I spend a lot of time on foundational stuff, because if you dig, the deeper your roots are, the more grounded you are. And so basically anything that I'm doing, I try to spend a lot of time focusing and growing my roots deep, getting my foundation of whatever I'm doing as deep in the ground and as solid as I can, because a building is only as strong as its foundation.
Wow. There you go. There you go. I wanted to try to get Sharon on here because I would like to find out, what staying grounded means to her, and, how does she ground herself? I'll say in the meantime for myself, I don't know if grounded is the right word for me, but it's probably related or relative. I'm all about doing what I'm doing, and so many people see me and they know that I'm a national trainer and blah, 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 and they come at me and they want me to do their business, whatever the network marketing or multi-level marketing thing is, and I get it. I'm not offended by that. In fact, it's actually a compliment, because that means they see something in me that they feel they can benefit or their team can benefit from because of who I am and what I've done. But I know I have to stay focused. I have to stay focused.
That's right.
On what I'm doing, because although God has given me so many talents and gifts and opportunities, I was using them all, and I have no regrets, but I was using them all. But what I find is that when you focus on one thing, you cover more territory than trying to cover more territory doing several things at once. And it was difficult for me, because I'm a very creative being, and I just was created that way. God made me that way. He made me with the ability to know poetry and, acting and singing and all these things. And that's great. But I find that it was the training ground to prepare me for what I do now, dealing with people and, all the things that my business as a speaker consists of and a trainer consists of. So I'm grateful that I still had those earlier experiences, because, I can still transition or transfer them over to what I'm doing here. So now I know we've had some changes in the country recently with a multitude of deaths and challenges because of race and things of that nature. And I know it's probably kind of difficult to stay grounded in the midst of all these challenges. I know for some people, because we want to help our community. We want to hold on 1 second, see Sharon Parker coming in. We want to, add value to the community. At the same time, we want to, hey, Sharon.
Hello.
We want to, do our part to be a difference maker, to be a game changer. So I know for me, I was questioning, what can I do? What can I do? And I think the best thing to do is to add value to the lives that are being affected because of this racial divide and all this by using my gift. I think it will use our individual gifts to encourage people in this, in the midst of the stuff that we're dealing with now, that's probably the smartest thing to do. Because, hey, welcome, Kim Young. It's probably smart to not try to, you know, get out there and you know, be this band leader in the area that's not your area of expertise. Just speak on the areas that you already have expertise in and use that as your focal point. So, Sharon, I want to ask you, what does the term grounded mean? Staying grounded mean to you? What does it mean to you?
To me, it means just, you know, you can put it in different perspective. You can relate it to business. You can relate it to your personal life. You can relate it to several things. But if we're talking about business, grounded for me is just being focused on my passion and knowing how to step away from who I am as an individual and just, you know, fulfill the role of what God has put in me. And that's knowing my purpose. And once I feel that I've tapped into that purpose, then you just work it, you know. And I can relate to what Dion was saying, because I used to be like you when I started off. I was all over the map. I was doing everything. But at a point, because I knew because I'm analytical, I write up a lot of information, and I have to be structured when I'm writing stuff so that I can work my plan. So nothing to deter me from my mission, nothing. I don't care what I'm going through in life. I don't care what's going on around me. I am focusing on my plan. And because I love history, you know, I've been working that for 8 years, and I'm just blessed that, you know, God kept me focused on taking advantage of opportunities that came my way. So for me, it's about knowing your passion, being focused, working your plan, and just keep it going.
So I was going to say, well, how do you personally stay grounded? I mean, is it one and the same for you? What does that mean for you?
Personally, for me, because I'm an introvert, because I'm analytical, I am a private kind of person. And I don't get caught up into the grandest of what people are doing. I don't get caught up on the bigger this or the better that or the best speaker. And I don't buy into everything that people are promoting. I look to see what their real work is. I look to see if they're really promoting the purpose of the business, the purpose of their mission, or if they're promoting just themselves. So because I observe people very, very well, I'm able to say, okay, I can't focus over there because that person does not align with what I'm doing. You know, even though I appreciate what they do and I respect what they do, but I try to align myself with people that are like-minded and that has also, you know, doing things around what I'm doing. If they're serving people, I'm on board with you. If you're serving yourself, I respect your game, but that's not my area of focus.
Okay. Well, in the article that I wrote for LinkedIn, I read a little bit of it to get an idea of where I was going before the conversation. I said, it's always important to stay grounded for various reasons. Your expectations should always be high, but your mindset needs to be balanced. It doesn't matter what you're doing or what you're planning to do. It's important to know every aspect of what's needed and every aspect of what you actually are capable of doing. The question you must ask yourself, bottom line, do I really understand my weakness from my strength? And, you know, I thought that was important because in order for you to stay balanced, you know, whether it's literally stay balanced, meaning work from play, personal from professional, you need to know who you are. You need to know what you're good at. You need to know what your objectives are. But if you're not sure on any of those things, you're going to be out of whack. And it's going to be difficult to stay grounded because the moment anything happens, you may be drawn over to that. The moment something else happens, you're drawn over to that. So it's important to have perspective in regards to, you know, being grounded. I want to encourage Diamond and Reba, if you have any questions in the chat, please put your questions and we'd love to address them, whether it's to all in general or to anyone specific. But we're talking about staying grounded. If you're just joining in or you're just watching the replay and you hadn't been paying attention for the last couple of minutes, you know, ask yourself, what does being grounded mean to me? How do I stay grounded? Because that's what the conversation is all about. I went on to also mention whatever your answer is regarding knowing your strengths and your weaknesses, et cetera, whatever your answer is, I'm acting like I can read without my glasses, right? That is the thing that builds your confidence and determines how well you do. The physical and the practical levels of understanding is usually manageable for most people. The psychological aspects are the tough ones. Now, what is your project? Is it weight loss? Is it a sporting game or a competition? So I guess it's just basically going back to the fact that it's extremely important to know, you have the right mindset. That's why I'm always saying the right mindset is all you need, because it's true. No matter what you do, personal, you got to have the right mindset. Professional, you got to have the right mindset. Now, even sometimes in fun, you want to have the right mindset, So Diamond said, I bounced around until I found my tribe. Now I'm mentally stronger and balanced according to what's needed. That's a good point. Somebody's going to speak on that?
One of the things I want to touch on that real quick is because I had my physical today. One of the things that my doctor mentioned is that she said that I was balanced even though I was all over the place. And what she meant by that was my lifestyle is balanced, but my mental state is just going, all the time. And I related to that because at night when I'm laying in the bed, I'm always thinking of something. My mind is always going and I can't never get to sleep. And I'm thinking of all sorts of things. But in actuality, I'm laying there, I'm content, I'm relaxed, but my mind is still going. And I suffer from anxiety. I have a really bad thing with anxiety. I can get on the plane. I just did a trip to Seattle. And if anybody knows, Seattle is a 5.5-hour trip from BWI to Seattle. And I normally can do that trip and I'm okay. But this past couple of weeks, I took that trip and I got on the plane and I busted out in the sweat. I had really bad heart palpitations. I had shortness of breath. I had all of the symptoms that if I was having a heart attack. And it scared me, it frightened me. And the stewardess was trying to calm me down and they put a cold compression on my head. And then once we got to an elevation where I was able to breathe on my own, I was okay. And the anxiety set in because of the turbulence.
Okay.
And that was something that I've never experienced before. So I say all this to say is that when you've never experienced something that's so traumatic in life, sometimes you get to that point where you don't know where you need to be, or you don't know where you should be, or you're just in the middle. So you just got to sit back and relax and just chill out. And that's something that I have a hard problem of dealing with. But I'm going through the motions. I'm dealing with it now.
So what about our young folks? How can we get them to stay grounded?
Young folks, they need to take it one day at a time. Don't rush it. They have a little bit longer lifespan than us folks on this call. I hate to say it and put it out there, but they do.
Yeah,
if they utilize it in the correct way. Just stay focused. Don't be in such a hurry. And see, that's my thing. I'm in a hurry. I'm always trying to push and go fast and get to the next thing. Take it easy. Take it slow. It's going to come to you. It's going to come to you faster than it comes to some of us.
Okay, I'll take that advisement as I get older.
Yeah.
No, but
we just gotta slow down.
Right.
And that's our whole thing. And that's what my doctor was getting to me today. Slow down, take it easy. You know, the faster you go, you're burning more life, and you don't need to do that. You know, so slow down, take it easy, be calm, just sit back and relax, and you know, just go with the flow. But I know it's hard for some of us to do that, like myself.
Right.
But we got to do it. We got to do it.
Well,
our health is involved.
Let me ask David. Sorry, I was going to ask David.
I was going to share something with you all. Since we were talking about the youth, as you know, we're caught in a real tough time across the country and society today. And honestly, I don't see our youth slowing down because of the times in which we live in. Because of the violence, because of the racism, because of the unemployment, because of the disrespect, they are trying to have a voice. So I think the millennials are looking at us, and they're looking for people in our age range to help them have a voice. And if we are not stepping up to the plate because of the times that we're living in, they are stepping up to the plate. And you can see it all across the country. And yes, you know, of course, it's because of the killings or whatever, but these babies are having other issues as well. And I mentioned a few: unemployment. You know, they have health issues, unfortunately, because they don't have medical insurance. It's just so many factors that they're experiencing. So I think that it's hard to, I agree with you, Dion, that yes, let them grow in their own pace, in their own time. But the times in which we're living in is forcing them to step up sooner than what is expected. And I think we, as millennials, we as baby boomers, need to really step up with them. So even though I love the topic of, you know, Sir Charles, I love the topic, but I think that we are being forced to have a presence in society today. And I'm not just talking business. I'm talking about a presence on the street. And I can tell you, Sir Charles, I've talked to you about it in the last couple of weeks or whatever, but I'm working with some students at Cardozo High School. And these students, they're employed under this Trans STEM program, and they're 20 to 24 years old. And I'm telling you, I am so surprised how unfocused they are. And I'm so surprised that they seem like they would be performing. And I'm not talking against them. I'm just sharing that we got a lot of work to do. And I'm sharing that their comprehension, to me, sometimes it looks like they act like they're 15 years old. And not because they want to, but because of maybe the lack of opportunity, maybe the lack of, you know, us being more involved in their lives. But I'm just sharing you. I multiply the 5 students that I have times thousands all over the country, and they really need some directions. They need to be focused, but they need us to make that happen. So I just wanted to share that insight.
That's good. That's good info. I was going to ask David, because I know David does workshops with you a couple times a year or several times here and there, and I wanted to get some feedback on him on how would you help or encourage our young folks to be grounded or to try to learn to become grounded. And then I got a couple of questions or statements in the chat I want to definitely address.
Well, you know, one of the first things that I'd like to try to help young people with is developing or actually discovering their purpose, you know, vision, the things that they enjoy, the things that they feel like that they were created to do, and the things that they do well. And then from that, I try to help them, you know, develop an action plan, you know, help them with goals that are actually consistent with the gifts that they have, and then help them to develop an action plan to be able to achieve the goals. And to keep a focus, I think the main thing with staying grounded is staying focused, you know, and knowing what direction you're going in, knowing where you're going, knowing what you're called to do, and being motivated to not let anything knock you off the path until you get there. And that's kind of one of the things that I constantly do with young people, is to try to help them, you know, exactly with that.
Okay. That's fantastic. I think you're spot on because, you know, of course, you know, Dion was talking about they have to slow down, but I believe a lot of times they don't understand how to slow down. Unfortunately, you know, we tell them things or suggest things to them, and depending on how close to them will depend on how much or how less they're willing to listen to us. Because I find that human behavior, many times the closer you are to someone, the less likely they are to listen to you, even though it's good advice. But you let a complete stranger come by, or someone with, you know, accolades of all this, you know, grand experience come and say the same thing that you may say without these certificates or certifications, and they are more responsive. And many times it reminds me of a story with my dad, because I became a certified counselor and in substance abuse and in emotional stress and trauma. And my dad relocated from New York and he came here, and I would try to tell him about the counseling sessions we were having. And the first time I told him about it, I said, "Come on, Dad, come on to the counseling session." He said, "Oh, wow, son, okay. Dad'll come next time." I said, "Okay, no problem." So the next time I said, "Hey, Dad, listen, we're gonna do the the counseling session." He said, "Wow, son, Dad was just getting ready to eat." So the next time he said, "Oh man, son, Dad's taking a nap." So long story shorter than short, he never came that one time. And I offered several times. But his issue was his issue, whether it was he remembered me before I became a counselor, he's fighting his own demons, whatever the issue is or his issue was, you know, I can't fix him. He has to want it. And they can't want it. You can't want it better for them or more for them than they want it for themselves. And it's the same thing with our youth. No matter how much we love them, sometimes they just have to learn in their own time. Unfortunately, these are some very wicked times that we're living in, and we want the best for them, and we want them to be grounded, and we want them to receive this message. And, you know, we have to pray for our young folks and guide them just as best as we can. And probably the best thing to do is to be that example, you know? So I want to read a couple of comments that were made. I know that Reba said, "I call myself and record my busy thoughts into my voicemail. Then I can go to sleep or keep a notepad and pen near the bed so she can get her proper rest." But that's great. That's a great way, you know. I mean, if you're a person like, because I know Sharon's like this too. Sharon is like, sometimes she says all over the place, and it sounds a lot like yourself, Dion. And I know for me, I can be in the middle of a speech, literally, at an engagement, and somewhere in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about the next thing. I'm thinking about the next thing, and not just the next line or where I want to take my audience to, but maybe our next engagement, maybe get an idea for a product or a new speech. But that's just how my mind works so very quickly. And I'm grateful, but, you know, so that's a good point, Reba, you know, to have that pen and pad or that voice recorder near your bed. And then I'm reading.
I wanted to share that sometimes when you are working on maybe a project, an event, you know, and you may not have time. And I know, Charles, you say all the time, you like to plan stuff out. But sometimes for me, I think I get my best work done when I'm crunching, I know that you have to market for stuff to get a large audience. I get that. I understand that. But I get so much content done when I'm like, you know, maybe I want to do an event in 3 months. And people say, well, you should really do it within a year. You should plan it out a year in advance. And I get it. Yes, you should plan it out in a year in advance, but I'm accustomed to doing my events 3 to 4 months out. And every year for the last 4 years, you know, I do an annual unconditional love retreat. And I know when to start planning. And I think I'm trying to share that I get so much work done when I know I have something that I'm planning for. And I cannot, because, you know, me being, again, analytical, but, you know, like you said, I'm a little scatterbrained because I'm literally all over the map. But I can well, everybody can't multitask, but I can write up documents. I can create flyers. I can make phone calls. I can just connect people together. But I'm doing it all because I'm passionate. I'm passionate about my purpose for that particular event. People sometimes have events just to have them for whatever reason. But if you know your end game is to help someone, which mine is always to help the young generation, that's my focus. I love my adults. I love my elders too. But I know it's God's working at it, but he always brings it full circle for me. I meet some wonderful people, you know, every year when I do this unconditional love retreat. And when you think of the term unconditional love, I mean, that's bringing people together, and that's bringing people together for a cause. People flock to that. But I get it, you know, that if you had at least a year in advance, you'll get more people.
Yeah, you know, my thing is, no less than 3 months. And like I did a book tour, 2014 through 2015. I did the Radiate the Brain and Change the Game book tour. And I must have hit 8 cities and states in that period of time. I mean, Florida twice, Dallas, Delaware, New York, Virginia, Maryland, DC. I was all over the place. So for me, I know that planning is essential. Because I don't want to rush, but that's kinetic, crazy energy. I don't mind pouring that energy in, but I have to have it structured. And this is funny, y'all. Y'all might appreciate this. Every single person on this blab right here has done an event. Every person. I'm talking about the chat. I'm talking about the squares. Every one of y'all. So let me ask y'all this. I'm going off. I want to read Kim Young's comment, but think about this. When I finish her comment, I want y'all to tell me what y'all think. How do you stay grounded, especially after Miss Sharon talking about her crazy energy? How do y'all stay grounded since everybody on this blab has done an event? How do you stay grounded in the midst of preparing for an event or putting on your own event? Nobody's exempt. All y'all have done events. I know everyone on this blab. So I'm going to read Kim Young. As y'all think about that, I want to go back to Kim Young's comment. She said, I was thrown off balance by a relationship. However, it was the best thing that could have happened to me at this time. Mental toughness. Now, I'm not really exactly sure to what degree or in what direction she meant. I assume, and she can correct me, I assume she meant whatever she learned by being thrown off, it was a good lesson for her or a lesson for her. If that's what she means, great. Give myself props. I figured it out. But if that's not Kim Young, please correct me. Was it because you learned a lesson or it revealed some things to you? Please feel free to share. In fact, if you want to, I'll pop out so you can come in and tell us. And then I want everybody to start talking about how they stay grounded in the midst of preparing for an event. Kim Young, are you still with us? Can you share that? You want to jump in? Oh my God, lessons. Okay, I'm going to jump out. Let Kim Young come in, and she can.
Hello.
How you guys doing?
Wonderful.
Right. So, yeah, the lessons were actually for me to look at myself, what I was or was not doing, what I should have been doing, what I could have been doing. Wow. They're even hard to explain. It was a quote that I put on my Facebook page today about when you meet someone, it's like an explosion. And especially if your energy is like pow, you know, I mean, it just really, there's something about that energy. But what it did was enlighten me, made me look at myself. Like I said, some of the things that I should have been doing, or some things I just didn't know. And that's why I love relationships. That's why I talk about it all the time, because it doesn't matter. It's friendships, family, colleagues, and intimate relationships. All of them are our mirrors to look at ourselves and see, you know, who we really are. It's not about them. It's really about me. And I got that. So that was very helpful for me. Made me stronger, made me mentally tougher, made me open up. It opened up a part of me I didn't even know was in there. So I was grateful for that. Really grateful for that. Opened up a whole part of my heart I didn't even know existed. And it took that person to do that. So.
Okay. Anybody want to make a comment?
Well, I will say when you talk about relationships, give me some examples of what you meant in reference to that. What exactly, you know, in what areas of relationship are you talking about that motivated you or inspired you?
You know, sometimes we go into a relationship and we don't really know the makings, and I love that word, the makings of a person, right?
Yes.
So, you know, men tend to think in terms of problems and solutions, but us, we're more emotional and interactive. We want interaction. So, you know, I roll in with my emotions and my interactions, and this individual has a different mindset than anybody I've ever met in my entire life. And so, and welcomed it. I was so open to it. I understood the silence, because I can, you know, I love to be in my space too. That's something that was in common. But there were certain things like, don't tell me what to do. And I didn't realize that I was doing that. I thought I was suggesting. So these are lessons, not just for like I said, intimate relationships. These are good lessons for people. You can't walk in somebody's life trying to tell them what to do. And even as a coach, you can't do that.
Interesting perspective.
You can't even suggest what you need. What we need to do is say, may I have your permission to, and then get that invitation. It's just, I could go on and on and on and on, but you know, it's just really looking at how I was as a woman. Let me say that. It's like the little girl in me was introduced to the woman in me.
I like that. Well, let me share that for me, being a quiet person as I try to be, and when it comes to business, and one thing that really annoys me is when someone say I can't do something, or I'm doing it a way that they're not doing it, or this event is not going to be a success, or you didn't do this, you didn't do that, you didn't do this. And the moment those words come out of their mouth, ooh, you should see me behind the scenes. I am working every hour to prove them wrong, not just to prove them wrong, but to say, who are you to tell me what I can't do because I didn't do it this way? And I'm telling you that for some reason, I don't know what it is about me, but that motivates me. When someone tells me I can't do anything, because that's when that fire just comes out in me, and I just push and I push and I push, and it gets done. And that's just me. I just want to share that because I don't like it.
I think what's important too, I think what's really, really, really important is to respect people.
Yes.
And some people's respect levels are really high. Some standards you got. You that's why when you meet your mirror, you said you were observant.
Yes.
You've got to really be observant. We're in a different time now.
Yes.
And so people are really testy and very protective, guarded, whatever the word. You really have to meet them at a place. You have to really, as Charles, you said it, you have to know who you are in order to face this mirror that you're getting ready to face. And totally respect their space. Don't assume. Have compassion for them, because you really don't know what's going on. You just don't. And so I learned, don't come with my stuff, because that's my stuff.
That's right.
And they got stuff. Understand that. Have compassion, be understanding, and be comforting.
All right. I got a good, hey, welcome to the call, Del Toro. You want to jump in and give us 2 cents on staying grounded? I'll jump out so you can jump in. Love to hear your commentary.
Del Toro, yay!
Oh, he can't come in. Oh.
Appreciate the support, but we're talking about staying grounded again. And now I want to find out, because everybody on this call, on this blab, has done an event of some type, some magnitude, small, moderate, or large. So, Kimyon, how have you stayed grounded when you're in the midst of doing an event? You know, how do you keep it all together and still make it happen?
I'm a planner too.
How much time?
When I can give an example of an event that it took me 6 months to put together. I've also done a mini, like a sleepover for adult women, took me 3 months to plan. So I had a 3-day engagement, 6 months, but I had help. So, you know, I was leading, but I delegated.
Okay.
To make sure that, you know, I couldn't do it all because it was too big, and it was 3 days and people were coming from all over. We ended up with, and this was my first large event. I've never done this before. And I used, and I wish I had it in my hand, I actually used a book.
Okay.
And it was boom, boom, boom. I followed all those instructions, and we had 120 people show up from everywhere.
Whoa.
It was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And the only glitch that I had is someone quit in the middle, which happens. And another partner of mine, she stayed up with me till 4 o'clock that morning. We got everything done. We were back up at 7 and on the floor. Wow,
nice. Nice.
Right.
I may have to talk to you about that. That's a great turnout, though.
Yes.
It was.
What about you, Dion?
3-day.
Wow.
Oh my God. Well, you know, I am the queen of events, and that's my pretty much livelihood.
Right.
But my thing is that I prepare for each event. And I think we mentioned this, we talked about this one time before. I have those 12 steps of questioning, you know, what you do for an event, how you prepare, what questions to ask when you're doing an event. So when I came up with that, I kind of studied it. But before I did that, I didn't know what to expect. So I had my own list of things that I was looking for when I was going to an event, to do an event. And a lot of times the person that you correspond with via email is not available the day of the event. So what do? You know, so you have to take it at your own will, and you have to run with it. And I find myself doing that a lot of times. Now, I did put on my very first event last year, and it was a success. It was bringing new vendors to the forefront, which was the name of the event. We had over 565 people, and that's because we paired with Red Cross, we paired with Magic 102.3, and so they brought out a lot of potential vendors, but it's a lot of work.
Yes, it is.
And I was stressed out. I was stressed out. I was pulling my hair out. I was a new do, and to cover up the stressed out, so those are type of things that we work towards. And I go back to saying today, when I had my physical, my doctor was like, okay, you're in great health, you're good, but you need to slow down. Your stress level is too high. And I blame that on myself. Is because I take a lot on, but I want to get a lot accomplished. And when you want to get a lot accomplished, you take a lot on. Mm-hmm. So you go back to that same thing. And for me, I'm an introvert. I speak all the time. I got that sharp tongue. And I want to get things done when I want to get things done. And I put it out there to people, and I expect to make it happen. And sometimes you gotta just steer back. And we go back to the fact of being grounded. And like I said in the beginning, I'm not grounded because I'm all over the place. I'm doing 50 million times, and I don't think I could never slow down. Even though my doctor told me today, you need to slow down. You need to chill out a little bit and back up and let somebody else take control. But I don't have a personal assistant. I work a federal government job. I work 9 hours a day. I come home. I do my business 4 hours. Okay, that's 13 hours. I sleep for maybe 2 or 3, and then I back up, and I'm doing the same thing over and over and over again. So my day never ends. I'm always on my grind. And you know why? Because I want to be a successful person. Yes. Okay. Everybody say, Dion, yeah, you did it. You good. Okay. That's what you say. But I haven't gotten to the point where I need to see that I'm a successful person. There's a couple of more things that I want to do. What those things are, I don't know, but they're going to come to me. I know I'm in the midst of owning my own boutique. The boutique is going to open in September of 2016. I know my book is about to be published, and it's coming for the forefront in March 2017. There's a lot of things that I want to do in between. So I'm never going to sit and just let it ride. I can't, because I have so many other things that I want to do. So for me, I say I'm not grounded, but others say that I am because of the success that I want to achieve in the long run.
Miss Dion, I want to jump in here for one moment and say to you, my dear sister, who's first?
Me.
Okay. So as someone who is huge on health and wellness, your health is first.
Yes.
Because if you don't have that, the rest of that's not going to matter.
Yes.
And I'm telling you this because I had open heart surgery at 42 years of age. I had a triple bypass. Totally out of the blue. Didn't know I was sick because I was ripping and running. Full-time job, part-time business, 2 children. No one in my family has heart disease.
Oh my God.
It's not a family thing. So I'm going to be talking about that tomorrow on Facebook Live because my nephew, 29, just died of a heart attack as well. So and we don't understand the kind of stress and the way we tax in our bodies because we're trying to be successful.
Yes.
But our health is first. This
I'm
business
so glad.
Trust me, I love it. But it don't come
Can you
before me.
Please tag me on that Facebook Live for tomorrow.
Okay.
I need that. Oh my God.
All right, my dear.
Even though my doctor gave me a clean bill of health today, I just see myself going and going and going and going, and I can't stop. And I don't know how to do it.
Well,
I don't know how to stop. I don't know how to, as my mother would say, sit down.
Well, I say that you just do it.
Yeah.
You get up in the morning, that is your time to breathe, exercise, walk, do something for you first.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I want to recommend, Dion, taking maybe a yoga class, something that deals with meditating, you know, just to calm the nerves, you know, calm the energy.
I have yoga every Wednesday, actually Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Okay.
But because I put myself in so many situations, and I'm always eager to help others and do different events, and I'm always like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. You know, you get that person that always raise their hand, and I stopped doing that at work, but now I need to stop doing it in my personal life.
Well, let me just share how I stay grounded when it comes to doing events. I've been saying for years that I'm crawling before I can walk. And when I crawl, that's a statement, a metaphor of me observing who's out there that really sees what I'm doing and see the cause of what I'm doing, and who's willing to actually support me in what I'm doing. So over the 4 years I've done my annual Unconditional Love Retreat, I have identified people who now works like clockwork. When I'm having the event, I don't have to tell them to do anything. They know how to set up the projector. They know how to set up my food. They know how to get my t-shirts set up. They know everything that I had to learn from behind the scenes, and I was doing myself for years. But then after they started monitoring me and me making sure that when I host the event, that they were always on the planning committee. And when I put them on the planning committee, when the event came, it was like, it took me about 3 years to get there, where they could see, you know, my program, could see how I work behind the scenes. And it's getting easier and easier. I get my sleep now, even though I love, you know, multitasking. I'm wearing so many titles right now, but I know that Rosa is my passion. And Rosa will get, I would say, 80% of my time. And the other hats I'm wearing, they'll get that time, but not as much as my passion. And I don't lose sleep for anyone, because at the end of the day, I know I got a mission. And I know in order for my mission to be really implemented, I have to get plenty of rest. I have to have a sound mind, and my energy got to be in the right place so that I can make sure that I'm connected to the right people God brings my way.
Okay, that's good information, obviously, because like Kimyon said, if you don't take care of you, you know, nothing else really matters. And I have to take that own medicine for myself, for sure, because I run reckless sometimes and I don't get my right rest, and I've got to do the right thing the right way for the right reasons. We got Tia on the line. She was trying to get in, but she couldn't get in. She's using Google Chrome, but for some reason she couldn't get in. Can you share with us, Tia, how you do events and how you stay grounded in the midst of doing your events?
Yes, I can. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Myself trying to get in. And actually, it was so amazing that Kimyon said a lot of things. I'm really kind of resting and relaxing myself, because here recently, actually today, my brother in love had a heart, I guess, heart surgery, and he had a three bypass, and he hasn't woken up yet. And my husband is at the hospital. So I was dealing with that, and I just had to lay down. So if y'all would have seen me on the camera, y'all would have saw me laying down, because it was been a day. But to keep up with what you were discussing in regards to the events, yes, I'm playing my first event. I am actually a registered citizen, And by me being a returning citizen, you know, I actually wanted to give back to that community because they have been forgotten. And by them being forgotten, you know, just because they did some crime, or we shall I say did some crime, people tend to, you know, look down upon us. And I used to be shame and guilt and all that, but I said to myself, no, God, you called me to do something, so I'm going to do what's necessary. So what should I do? So he told me to get an event together, and I got an event together. And I did my first event last year, and then he gave me the name, he broke it all the way down, he told me to put the mindset in it. And, you know, Charles is keen on that with the mindset, you know, because if you don't change your mindset, you're not changing where you're going. Right. So he told me to make it the theme being embracing your dreams by changing your mindset. So that's what the theme was. But to make it short about what I got to discuss with you all, it was my first time. I didn't have nobody to help me. I had several people. Some people said that they would help. Some people said that they wouldn't. They was looking down. I was like, I've actually heard people literally say, I'm not going to help you with that because y'all ain't had no business getting in trouble and all of this. All of that, but you know what? I stayed steadfast and unmovable, and I continued to pray because somebody else put in the chat, pray. I had to do a lot of breathing exercises as I was getting things together, and I literally inhaled and exhaled. And then I don't know if you all know Candace Camille. She was like, you got to visit those 8 doctors a day, regardless of whatever it is you got to do. You have to do that. And I know one with water. I can't tell you verbatim what they are right now, but if anybody knows Candace, believe me, you would actually know what they are. And so, you know, I just tried to do those things. And then I was listening also to the Dion. She was saying how she'd be all over the place. And somebody, I think Sharon too, that she'd be all over the place. I'm a penguins. Penguins are all over the place. We talk, as you can see, I haven't let y'all say nothing, right? We talk a lot, but then at the same token, I'm a choleric, so I'm a leader. I'm a born leader, so I want to get things done. So imagine me trying to talk and trying to get some things done. But I had to really brace myself. I had to brace myself, and I had to do a lot of praying, and I had to really, really go down on the inside of myself and say, okay, God, I know you want me to this, and I know you want me to that, but help me with the part I need. So I had to really, really just go on the inside and know that it's a passion that I wanted to do, but I had to do things in order so it wouldn't get all over the place. So, you know, I just wanted to really share my thing with doing an ADJ. And I'm actually doing a telethon coming up on this Monday coming from the 18th through the 22nd. I put it out there on Facebook. It's a telethon for the returning citizens, so they have a platform to go and talk to, because there's a group of women, it's a group of men and women that is going to be sharing, and most of them have become successful since they've been out from being incarcerated.
Wow.
So I wanted to do my share.
Okay, listen, I want to encourage you for yourself. I just put a link in the feed for you personally, and you can share it because it doesn't belong to me, but it's a meditation site. It's called calm.com, and I think you can go there and play around with it, and you'll probably get a lot from it, because you can just take a load off from time to time just for yourself, and you'll see it at the bottom of the screen. So I know you can hear me. So when at your leisure, click on this here, calm.com, and you know, our prayers go out to your family. Hopefully that everything will go well, and God will do what He's intending on doing, and that you'll see things on the other side from a better perspective. I know family is real important today, and sometimes we don't really. I don't know. I think we take our family for granted, just like sometimes we take life for granted. You know, we go to bed, we get up, and we don't think, you know, you might not wake up, you know. You might not get a chance to go to bed. And, you know, we have to really stay mindful, not just because of business, but because of, you know, life is more important. It's really about community. And I'm talking about each other, family and non-family. We really have to be better and kinder to each other, because we're supposed to be. You know, that's what God intended for us to be, regardless of what we look like. But it's going to be really tough for us to be kind to someone else when we can't even be kind to each other. I mean, to ourselves. You know, so if you want to be kind to someone else, let's practice on being kind to ourselves, and then we can display that with others as well. You know, charity starts at home. So blessings definitely to your family, to you. Thank you for your share. Absolutely. David, I'd like for you to take a few minutes and share, what it is that you do to stay grounded in the midst of doing an event. How do you keep it all together?
Well, one of the first things I do is I kind of write a outline and kind of structure what I'm going to do, and the tasks and the things that I need. I kind of put it in different categories and kind of check it off as I go along. That's one of the first things that I do, is just really kind of lay it out on paper. And because I don't know about the rest of you, but there have been times when I have gotten down to the end and found out that there was something that I didn't, a base that I didn't cover or something like that. One of the things that I did one time was I forgot to go back, and it was weeks before I did it. I forgot to go back and collect money for some tickets that I had left at a business.
Wow.
Because I had distributed tickets in different businesses in order to, to sell tickets for my event. And that was one business that I did not go back and pick up the tickets and the money from it. And, thanks be to God, it was still there. But usually I have a listing of things, and I check that back off when where I gave my tickets out and what the numbers were. And when I go back and pick them up and pick up the money for it, or if I send somebody there. So one of the things that I do is, like I said, I make a list or keep an outline and check things off.
One thing I'm noticing, even though this call isn't about events, it seems to me that the way we would structure an event, that if we had that same discipline in our lives, can you imagine how our lives would be if we thought about what we're supposed to do, plan what we were going to do, if it was regarding, okay, if you got a job, you got to go to work, I get it. But if you thought about, okay, what's happening on the job on Monday? What's happening on Tuesday, right? Is there a meeting? Is there a specific thing going on? Is there a function? If we approach daily life, not exactly, but if we approach our daily life in a similar fashion, with structure, how much better could we be? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Sir Talk, you know what? I hate to interject, and I may sound like a clown, but I do that.
Really?
I have a planner. I have my cell phone. Everything in my cell phone matches my planner. And I follow that every single day. And if I lose any of those, I'm dead.
No. Really?
I'm serious, because my life revolves around my cell phone, which has my calendar. My life also revolves around my planner. I don't have my planner here, it's at work, but I have a planner for work, home, and my personal business. And then all of that ties into my cell phone.
Wow.
So I get all of that information in my cell phone. So every day I know where I need to be. I know what it is that I need to do. I know who it is that I'm meeting. That may sound crazy, but that's how I am. I'm just that
sounds structured.
It really does.
That sounds very structured.
It does.
My mom says I'm the most organized person that she ever met, but that's how I have to operate. It's not that I can't remember, it's that I want to remember, and I need to see it in front of me. So I have 3 calendars that I'm going and I'm using every day, but they're all combined to my cell phone because they're all linked to my computer.
Okay, now that takes me back to earlier in the conversation when David was telling you that you were grounded. It sounds like you have got things together and you have them together on different levels for different purposes, and it all ties together. But one more thing. Go ahead.
I don't look at that as being grounded.
From his perspective,
it is.
From perspective, I can understand it now, the way that he put it, to say that, okay, yeah, you're grounded because I'm so organized and I know what's going on day by day at each time. Yeah, I got that. But for me personally, I don't know. I'm just the other person looking out, looking in. I don't know. I don't get it.
I want to give David some kudos, because I did an event for his second annual Christian Authors a couple of months ago. And I'll be honest with you, that was one of the most structured, most organized events that I have ever done. I mean, wow. It's got to be up there in the top 3, 4, 5, definitely way up there, because I was just impressed with the way you handled your event. I mean, I was like, wow, okay. You could teach a class. If you could teach a class on that,
yes,
I'm serious.
No, I have to agree with Charles, because one thing that he had me to do was to focus on the structure. He kept on asking, Sharon, do you see how he's doing this? Do you see how he's doing that? And I have to say, you know, I learned a lot, because with me trying to, you know, wear so many hats at times, you know, you can find people to do those jobs, and you had it down to a T. You had a keynote speaker, you had it all put together, and I just love the way you did that. So I learned a lot from it.
Food, entertainment, I mean,
everything.
Tables, vendors, the whole shebang. It was.
I remember that. I was there.
and Reba's my publicist. She also works with Sharon sometimes. She told me to remind everyone about the event on July. Oh my goodness, I don't see the date now. July 20th or 21st, I think it is. I forget. Oh my goodness. Reba, would you type it back in? Oh, July 20th, yes. Of course, if I could find the particulars, I can't see it in the feed, but July 20th, there's an event coming up in Washington, D.C. I'm sorry, Reba, would you repost that? July 20th, there's an event coming up. And I'm going to go find the ad if we get back to social media. So if you start seeing that, that's probably the next thing that I'll be doing. And I'm not really sure all the particulars, but I'm sure it's going to be on the flyer. And as you see, I'm not as organized as Dion. So in that way, I'm not as grounded. However, I'm working on it. So, and yeah, I got to talk to you again, Dion, about the other event, November. So, man, yes. There's so much stuff going on. There's so much stuff going on. Good stuff, good stuff. But anyway, we're over the mark. I don't want to disrespect anyone's time. I know we kind of went in different directions talking about staying grounded, but I think the reality is that some topics aren't linear. You know, they have other avenues, and it's always good to recognize that and sometimes to actually explore that. So if you're watching this replay and you're like, what are they talking about? Or I thought it was going to be grounded in a particular area. Yes, that's true. But as you have seen, if you've watched it to the end, being grounded relates to so many different aspects of our life. Mm-hmm. So I would definitely thank all of the speakers for sharing their perspectives and their insights. And we'll definitely do it again next week. But here's the event. ProBiz at Washington Plaza Hotel, 10 Thomas Circle. It's on the affordable advertising page, which some of you are familiar with, on Facebook and LinkedIn. We need some vendors. Oh, okay. I don't know, Dion, if you're going to be available, but give.
Yes.
Give.
I'm turning down no work.
Look, give Reba a call at this number, 301-420-00.
I am already on the page. I already got it. I'm already connecting with her. You're slow.
Okay, gotcha. No problem. I'll see you there then, right?
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, I'm gonna turn off the recording.